Okay, so this is March 16th, 2015. We are continuing on in the fourth section, Love Without Conflict, in chapter 4 in the original edition of A Course in Miracles. And this is the third or fourth class on this particular section. So we're starting today on the paragraph in the original edition that says love will enter immediately into any mind which truly wants it. All right. So love will enter immediately into any mind which truly wants love. Good to know. But here's a little caveat. But the mind must want love truly. Okay? You know, we're all familiar with the part that says, I want love, I want love, I want love, I want love. Why is it sometimes like, I want love, I need love, I want love, and then we don't experience it? Well, according to this, the mind isn't going to experience the love that it wants unless it wants it truly. What does that mean? It means that the mind wants love without ambivalence. What does that mean? Wanting love without ambivalence. It means that wanting love without ambivalence is a kind of wanting that is wholly without the ego's, quote, drive to get. Okay? So it's a desire for love without the desire to get. So it's, I want love, I want to experience love. I want to experience love, not, I want some love so I can have somebody to love. I want some love so I can have somebody who will help me not be lonely. I want some love so somebody can meet my needs. I want some love so I can meet somebody's needs. I want some love because I don't have enough. I want some love because I don't love myself. Okay? That is wanting love with a drive to get. Does that make sense? That is wanting love with ambivalence. That's saying, I want love, but only if it comes in this form. And I want love, but only if it meets this need. And I want love, but only because it meets my needs. Right? That's love with ambivalence. Now, the moment that any one of us say, I want to experience love, whatever it is, the love that I am, the love that is, I want to experience love, love will enter immediately into that mind. Nice. And in this case, you see that love is synonymous with peace, with joy. And the Course does say that there is no love without joy. There is no love without peace. So when you say, I want love, you're really saying, I want peace. I want joy. Because there is no love without joy. Right? So if you say, I love you so much it hurts, then that is a love with ambivalence. Okay?
Because all those other things write in on love.
That's right. That's exactly right. You don't experience love without joy or love without peace. So when you say, I love you so much, but I'm hurting. I love you so much, but you hurt me. Well, no, that's not. The Course in Miracles would say that's not really love. That's just fear that you've called love because your ego wants you to call fear love because your ego loves fear. Your ego does love fear, and so the ego tells you fear is love. So when you fear somebody, you love them. And oh, if you love somebody, you fear them. Right? That's what the ego wants us to believe about fear and love. Right? Because it wants to keep fear going. And the only way the ego can keep fear going and have us keep worshiping fear is to convince us that fear is love. And it's so ingenious. It is a little evil genius. Right? So the Course in Miracles is saying, well, you know, real love, if you want to experience love, real love, that means asking for love to enter without asking love to come give you something. Come give me something, love. I want to get some love. All right? And typically, we don't just say, gosh, I'd like to experience love. Right? We don't just want love. We want what we think love will get us. And then we wonder why sometimes we don't experience what we call lasting love.
So by this, we have called a lot of things love, but
That's
the
right.
definition they're using here is like a holy instant.
That's right.
This is where you experience the presence of God.
Thank you, exactly. In this case, love is experiencing the presence of God, which is the same as saying experiencing what you are, what your real self is, what your essential essence is, which is love. You know, so if you're asking for love and you're asking for love because you want to experience who and what you are, and who and what reality is, it will enter immediately. If you're asking for love because you want to get something from love, then good chance you might get a special relationship of some kind, but you won't get love. And so you'll have a special connection somehow, whether that's romantic or family or business or whatever, but you won't experience love. You'll just experience a pleasant form of fear at first, which will then fall away, and then you will experience just the pure fear that it always was. Anybody ever experienced that? Okay. Just checking in to see if, all right. So then, so anyway, so that's a great exercise. Maybe we'll do it after, in the integration meditation. Let's just see what happens when we just ask for love without any desire to get around it. Just ask for love to enter. So we'll do that. Now, speaking of an experience where love enters immediately, there is a kind of experience which is so different from anything the ego can offer that you will never recover. Now, this is in the original, but not the edited, this particular sentence. I love it. There's an experience that's so different than anything the ego can offer you that you will never recover from it. I love it. I love it. What, an experience from which I'll never recover? Oh, that's interesting. Sounds kind of negative. Except that it says, the next sentence says, the word, quote, recover is used quite literally here. You will never be able to cover or hide again. So when you ask for love to enter, and you're not asking for love to enter so it can give you what you want, to give you something, then you are going to experience an experience that is completely different than anything you've ever experienced before. So different than anything you've ever experienced before, you'll never recover, which means you will never be able to cover or hide again. You'll never be able to cover it or hide it, that experience, again. Or yourself. Isn't that interesting? There is a kind of experience that when you have it, you will never be able to recover from it. Meaning you will never be able to cover or hide again. Wow, very interesting. There's a kind of experience I could have that I will, after I have it, I'll never be able to cover or hide again. Notice it didn't say you'll never be able to hide it or cover it again. It just said you'll never be able to cover or hide again. Well, I wonder what it means. Cover what? Hide what?
Is this bringing the light into it? This light is just so strong that you'll never be able to hide or cover it.
Yeah, and nor will you want to. Yeah, exactly. And I think that the next sentence explains it. It is necessary to repeat here that your belief in darkness and in hiding is why the light or the love cannot enter. Thank you for anticipating the next sentence. The mind that wrote this course is so brilliant. It absolutely anticipates our next question. It always anticipates us going, yeah, but, or what about, or what, you know, it's brilliant. It's a genius. And so it says that it is our belief in darkness and hiding that is why the light or the love cannot enter. I want light, I want love, but I don't experience it. Well, I wonder now, could it be that you want light or love, but you ask for it and it not come? Is that right? Is that possible? Well, it's only possible if you're asking for it to get something. So, but here it's saying that the light and the love can't enter. Why? Because I have a belief in darkness, which is what? In hiding. So interesting. What is darkness? Belief I can hide, desire to hide, belief I can hide, desire to hide. What happens when I have a belief that I can hide and a desire to hide? What happens?
The light won't.
The light cannot enter. The love cannot enter. Even if I'm like, oh, I want love, I want some love, I want some love, I need some love. Even if I'm begging for it, it can't enter because I have a belief and a desire that I can hide. In other words, when I have a belief or desire that I can hide, it means I don't want the love and the light to come. I don't want the light and the love to come in. I want to hide something. In other words, you can't let in love or light at the same time you are hiding something, right? Now,
So this has not anything to do with others. We're not hiding from others. This is, we were hiding from ourselves. This blasts through our denial, to which we can never go back to that place again.
Exactly. And I also think it is relative to others too, because I can't simultaneously receive other people's love while at the same time hiding from them. I don't want you to know I'm afraid. I don't want you to know I feel guilty. I don't want you to know I feel shame. I don't want you to know I'm afraid you'll leave me. I don't want you to know I feel inadequate. I'm hiding. I don't want you to know I have self-hatred in myself. I'm hiding. I can't be hiding something, keeping something in the dark, but yet receive your love or receive God's love. See, that's why the light can't enter. Because as long as you're hiding, what you're saying, you're saying, I can't let the light in.
So this just makes us honest.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
through our denial, and once we are honest with ourselves, we can't not be honest with others.
That's exactly right. And once we are truly not hiding, aka being honest, then the light and the love will enter immediately into our mind. Isn't that powerful? And that's one of the greatest gifts that the Course in Miracles has given to me, is that it's freed me from the desire to hide and the need to hide. The need to hide from people that sometimes I'm afraid, and sometimes I'm angry, and sometimes I hate, and sometimes I hate myself, and sometimes I feel ashamed, and sometimes sometimes I'm angry. It has helped me to be free of that habit and that desire. Because the Course told me, hey, for one thing, we all have the same ego. It always talks about the ego. And second of all, you can't hide your ego, even if you wanted to, because it's obvious to whoever can see, right? Because all thought produces form. And so why hide it? Why pretend that you don't have an ego? Why pretend that sometimes you're afraid and feel angry and feel hate and feel ashamed? Why? So, and according to this, the only reason the light, which is the correction and the healing of that fear, that shame, that inadequacy, the only healing of it is the light entering into it.
Yeah.
So basically, in this curriculum, the healing of the shame and the fear and the guilt and the inadequacy and all that comes from that, all the healing of that comes from opening it up, not hiding it, and you don't have to do anything after that. You stop hiding it, the light, which is the correction, enters immediately. Nice. I like that program. I like that formula.
Yeah, the New Testament says, walk in the light because I am in the light.
Exactly. Exactly. Now this explains, what does that mean, walk in the light? What does that mean? What does that mean, walk in the light? Who knows? In this case, it means don't hide. Stop hiding. Stop hiding from yourself. If you feel angry, go, I feel angry. If you feel ashamed, I feel ashamed. If you feel inadequate, I feel inadequate. I have a belief that I am inadequate right now. I have a belief that I am sinful right now. I have a belief that I am a failure. Whatever it is, the healing of it, the correction of it, is to not hide it, and which automatically opens the door for the light, the love, which is the correction, to enter.
Well, I think it heals the causes that make us want to hide.
Yes.
In other words,
That's right.
The honesty.
Mm-hmm.
You see what really is.
That's right.
All of those fears that caused you to hide were an illusion.
That's right.
And you see through them.
That's right.
Because all judgment is a form of dishonesty.
That's
And
exactly.
if the dishonesty is gone, you see it for what it really is.
That's exactly right.
So it not only, first it gets you to try not hiding, and then you see that, oh, wait a minute, that
Right.
wasn't, you know, you realize that your self-judgment was incorrect all
To
along.
begin with, that's exactly. Good example of that. When you tell somebody who really loves you how you really feel, I feel ashamed, I feel inadequate, I'm afraid you're going to leave me, I'm afraid you're going to reject me or abandon me, and you tell somebody who really loves you that, what happens? What happens usually?
They say, no, I didn't feel that way
They say,
at all.
I love you. All of a sudden, they express their love, and now you're like, oh, you do? You know, wow, I'm glad I spoke up, you know, I'm glad I spoke out. It's a perfect example of that, that when you stop trying to hide, then what happens? Now the love enters immediately. Now you can receive the love that was already there. You know, people love you more. That all of a sudden their heart opens to you. Oh, I felt that too. I felt that too. Oh, don't feel shame. I felt that too. We all feel that. Oh, that doesn't mean you're a failure. Oh, you know, you're amazing. So when you stop hiding, you are able to receive the love and the light from God and also from others. Yeah. So if there is a situation right now where it is obvious that the light ain't there, because that situation or relationship feels dark. It feels dark. It doesn't feel light. It feels heavy. If there's any kind of situation or relationship that you're experiencing right now like that, there's a good chance that you are hiding something. And that all you need to do is stop hiding whatever beliefs are there that your ego's saying, don't tell anybody that, don't tell anybody that, don't tell yourself that, don't think about that, don't look at that, don't let people know that, don't tell people that. Whatever that, find that thing within that situation or relationship that you're trying to hide from yourself, from your higher mind, and open it. Open it. Tell yourself and your higher mind and God the truth of what you are feeling and believing.
Is this another one of those where you ask Spirit to help you and show you, because you've already hid it from yourself,
That's right.
so you're not going to discover it all by yourself.
That's exactly right. That's what you can always do, is you can always identify what you're feeling.
Right.
Even if you've repressed that belief, and most of us have, you can repress your beliefs all day long till they're shoved back into the dusty corner of your unconscious. But your feelings will always let you know what's there. You can't shove a feeling back. Now you can try to cover a feeling or numb out a feeling, but you can be unconscious of your beliefs, but your feelings will always be revealing them. You know, so if you can't get to the belief, start with, how am I feeling right now? At least I will tell myself the truth about how I feel right now. Right now I feel like I would like to strangle somebody. Right now I feel very ashamed of myself. Right now I feel profoundly inadequate. Right now I feel very sad. Right now I feel very guilty. Whatever it is. Now, once you've identified the feeling, then the belief is obvious. Now you can get to the belief, okay? Because if you say, wow, I feel so inadequate, I feel so ashamed, I feel so angry. Well, you know that there's a belief in inadequacy. I believe I'm inadequate. I believe I'm guilty. I believe there's something wrong with me. I believe, so that's why the Course says, in the workbook it teaches, it says, when you are not at peace, start with this. At least I can decide, how do I feel right now? And at least I can decide I don't like how I feel right now.
So that's the point?
That's how it
After I've
starts.
discovered the belief, that's where I say, how do you see this, Spirit?
That's exactly right. Then once you've discovered the belief, then you open that belief to the higher mind, where you go, higher mind, whatever you call that higher mind, whether it's God, Spirit, higher mind, Buddha, Krishna, whatever it is. You open it up and you say, I have a belief that there is something wrong with me. I have a belief right now that I am inadequate. I have a belief right now that I am just a failure. I have a belief right now that I am unlovable or that I am unloving. And I ask for the correction of that belief. That's the basic healing corrective formula of A Course in Miracles, right there. But it cannot happen. That formula cannot be engaged while you are believing and hiding, while you are trying to hide what you are thinking.
It seems to me it's a common, I know I do it, it's listening to others, it seems common.
Yes.
That we try to heal ourselves.
Yes, we do.
And that's not our job.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the way that we try to heal ourselves is, well, I'll just pretend I'm not feeling this way. I'll just act like I'm not feeling this way, right? I'll just act like I am adequate, right? The ego cannot survive unless you hide it. The ego is like a cockroach. It cannot stand the light. It cannot survive the light. You know, it's like a psychological cockroach. As soon as you look at it and go, hey, what is it I believe? What is it I believe? As soon as you do that, because it can only survive in darkness. And that's why the ego always says, don't tell people what you're thinking. Don't acknowledge what you're feeling. Don't acknowledge what you're thinking. Don't feel your feelings. Don't tell people how you really feel. Don't tell people what you're really thinking. Anybody recognize that voice? That's the ego, right? Don't tell people that. They won't understand.
Oh,
Don't tell people that. They'll judge you. Don't tell people that. They'll reject you. But it tells you, like, I'm your friend. Listen, I'm here to help you. Only I love you. All of them, they don't love you. Only I love you. And so, listen to me. I'm your friend. Don't tell anybody how you feel. Don't tell anybody what you think. Don't even tell it to yourself. Hide it from yourself. Pretend like you don't, okay? All right, we're buddies. That is the ego. See if I recognize that evil friend, that so-called friend. My so-called friend, my ego, who's always counseling me to hide and pretend.
Well, it's an effective strategy in a subversive way to prolonging the idea that we are separate.
That's exactly right.
That's what it's doing.
That's exactly right, because that idea of separation and differences can only last if we don't say to each other, gosh, my ego tells me I'm different from you. I feel different. I feel different from you. I feel separate. As soon as we say it out loud, it's obvious that it's a lie. You know, so you're right. That's the only way the ego can survive and remain in control of our minds.
So that's our habit. That's how
That
we
is our habit.
well,
Yes, it is.
we need to start a new habit.
That's exactly right.
So on the refrigerator, a note.
Yes,
I
on the
know
refrigerator.
the feeling, Spirit does the healing.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, on the refrigerator, a little post-it note that says, "My ego cannot hide. It is obvious to everyone but me."
Or you can put reveal it, heal it.
Yeah, exactly. Reveal it and heal it. Exactly, exactly. Hide it and keep it.
This actually echoes back to Miracle 22. The escape from darkness involves two stages. A, the recognition that darkness cannot hide, this step usually entails fear, and
Yes.
B, the recognition there is nothing you want to hide, even if you could.
Exactly.
This step brings escape from fear.
Exactly. That is the escape from darkness involves 2 stages. One, that I can't hide my ego even if I tried. And number 2, I don't want to hide my ego even if I could. My ego cannot hide. Everything we think is obvious. Everything we think is being manifested all the time. Whatever is happening around you is a revelation of your beliefs about yourself. That is all it is, pure and simple. And so there is no hiding what you believe about yourself and what you think about others. There is no hiding that. It is obvious. So now let's accept that and stop trying. And
So when we don't see it, it's just because we didn't want to.
Because
It's
we
not
don't want
obvious
to.
to us,
That's
we
right.
want the hiding to
That's
work.
exactly right. And when somebody comes up to us and mirrors it and shows us, hey, look at that belief you got in there about yourself. How do we feel about that person? We have a grievance. How dare you? That is so rude. You are so mean. I thought you loved me. You are so, I don't like you. Somebody mirrors, because that's what everything in the world is. Every person, every situation, everything. It's just mirrors, mirror, mirror. That's all it is. It's just a mirror. And it's always showing us what we believe about ourselves and what we're thinking about. And when things mirror it back to us and we don't like it, because it's mirroring self-hatred, we attack it. We project onto it. We try to get rid of it. Oh, I know how to feel better. I'll get rid of them. That'll help. I'll get a different job. I'll get rid of them. I'll get rid of that.
I'll move away.
I'll move away. I'll get a new job. I'll get a new relationship.
You're still taking the same ego with you.
That's right. And then you get into the next relationship and the next job and you find that pattern recurring and you're like, where have I seen this before? Where have I seen this before? And then we get into that new relationship and we go, yeah, I know how men are. I know how women are. They're all the same. No, not exactly. You are. No, it's not that men and women are all the same. It's that your beliefs have not changed. All right. Okay.
I don't need to find a new partner, I need to find a new me.
Exactly. I don't need a new partner. I don't need a new job. I don't need a new body. I need to stop hiding my false beliefs about myself, my self-hatred, my self-judgments. Self-hatred equals self-judgments, right? I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm lovable. I think there's something wrong with me. I think I'm broken. You know how we say, I'm broke. Don't say you're broke. Unless you're saying it to your higher mind. That's the only time you should say I'm broke. Don't tell people, I would go to the movie with you, but I'm broke. Don't say that. But what you should do is go to your higher mind and go, higher mind, I have a belief I'm broke. I have a belief that I am inadequate to provide for myself. Hold it, higher mind, and I ask for the correction of that. That's the only time you can say that. Okay. Then it says, the Bible gives many references to the immeasurable gifts which are for you, but for which you must ask. Now this isn't a condition as the ego sets conditions. It's just the glorious condition of what you are. So apparently, rumor has it that there are immeasurable gifts which have been stored up for us. They are for us. But that we have to ask for them in order to receive them, even in order to know that they're there. But that's not a condition like, you gotta ask if you want them. Did you ask? No? Oh, too bad for you. It's not a condition like that. It's just like this. Until you ask, you don't really want. And until you ask, you don't believe you deserve them. That's the condition. It's not an ego condition like you gotta ask if you're gonna, it's just that When you ask and say, okay, I ask for the immeasurable gifts that are for me. All right. You say there's immeasurable gifts that have been stored up for me in the storehouse of life? Great. I ask for them. When you ask for them, what you're telling the universe is, I want it. I'm willing. And remember, the universe is loving, so it's not going to force anything on you. And so the universe has to wait until you ask. Because only when you ask does the universe know that you want it. You know, even just because the universe wants to give you immeasurable gifts, it's not going to force them on you if you don't want them. The universe isn't like that. It's not going to go, I have a lot of gifts for you. Take them. Come on, take them, you stubborn fool. I got immeasurable gifts for you. What's your problem? Here, I'm going to leave them on your doorstep. You know, the universe is not like that. The universe doesn't impose its will on you, even if its will is loving. It has to wait till you say, I want the immeasurable gifts that you say are for me, that you have for me.
So that is us opening the door,
That's
being
right.
willing to let them in.
It's us saying, I want it. I'm willing. Right?
Which once again requires some honesty with yourself.
That's right.
Or you can't get there and do it.
That's exactly right. Exactly. And you won't know you need those immeasurable gifts until you get honest about how you feel and think about yourself right now. Because if you're not honest about how you feel and how you believe and the beliefs you have, if you're not honest about them, then you won't know how much you need the truth. You won't know how much you need miracles. As a matter of fact, if you're hiding your thoughts and your feelings from yourself, here's what you will be telling yourself. I'm fine. I'm fine. Can I help you? No, I'm fine. Are you okay? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. That's what people say. That's what we say when we're hiding our thoughts and our feelings from ourselves and others. Now, if you're telling the universe, I'm fine, what you're telling the universe is, I don't want the immeasurable gifts that are for me. I don't want help. I'm fine. Right. So I see the connection there with receiving the immeasurable gifts and the being honest, like you were saying. All right. Then it says, no force except your own will. That's what we were saying, your own will, your own desire, your own willingness. No force except your own willingness is strong enough or worthy enough to guide you. So the only thing that's strong enough or worthy enough to guide you is what? Your willingness, your desire. That's the only thing. Not even the angels of the universe who want to give you immeasurable gifts. The only thing that is good enough to guide you is your own desire for peace, your own desire for love. That's it. Not all the people around you going, you should be happy. You should feel good about yourself. You should feel awesome about yourself. You should experience all the joy that life has to offer. That is not a force that is strong enough or worthy enough to guide you. Doesn't matter how many people around you are telling you, you have it all. You're awesome. You could do it all. You have it all. You're awesome. You're great. What's your problem? Doesn't matter how many people around you telling you that. Until it is your own will, until it's your own willingness. I deserve it. I want it. It doesn't matter how many people around you are offering it to you, does it? You could be surrounded by people trying to offer you their love, trying to offer you gifts. But until you want it, until you believe you deserve it, until you are asking for it yourself, it doesn't matter. You won't be able to receive it. You'll be surrounded by immeasurable gifts. You'll be surrounded by tons of love, and you will not experience it. You ever experienced that yourself or experience someone else? They're so full of self-hatred, and yet you look at their life and you see they have it all. You see they have loving friends, they have loving family, they're very talented, they're very skillful, but yet they're miserable. You're like, well, I don't get it. They have it all, but yet they hate themselves and they're totally miserable. What is going on with that? It's because there is no force or will strong enough to guide them or heal them except for their own willingness, their own desire for it. Wow.
So love would be a tyrant if we didn't have the choice about to receive the gifts or not. It doesn't matter how loving it is, it's a tyrant.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And
if it's coming against our will, it's not
also
love.
why we have to ask. That says, yes, you have my permission.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Same thing with the people in our lives. It doesn't matter how much we love people, if they are not wanting it for real. If they're not wanting it for real, it doesn't matter how much we tell them we love them or try to do for them. It's not going to be enough. It won't work. It won't be enough to guide them into peace. Wow. That explains a lot. Okay. Then it says, in this, what we're saying, you are as free as God, and you must remain as free as God forever. Which that means you can never be bound except in honor. That's interesting. And being bound in honor is always voluntary. So, let us ask the Father in my name to keep you mindful of His love for you and yours for Him. So we got an instruction here. And God has never failed to answer this request. Why? Because this request asks only for what God has already willed or already given you. Okay, so whenever there's an instruction or a prayer instruction, I always put it into my memory and use it immediately. What does it say to do? It says, let us ask God to keep you mindful of God's love for you and yours for God. So, God, please keep me mindful of your love for me and mine for you. Thank you. Whenever I see an instruction in the Course, I just stop and do it. Okay? Because number one, it works. Number two, the mind I trust told me. And number three, if I stop and do it immediately, it will go into my memory. My memory, it will wire itself into my memory. And then the results will really wire it. Okay? So, little study tip. When you hear an instruction, just stop and do it right then and there. Okay? That'll put it into your memory, and it will work. And then the results will wire it even deeper. All right,
But
now.
you making us do that, what I heard was, yeah, you've been telling us about God's love for us.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly had forgot that we also love God.
That's right.
Most of the time we run around thinking we don't.
That's right. Exactly. We've totally forgotten that we love God. We love God back. And the Course in Miracles is always trying to get us to experience not only God's love for us, which is one way, but our love for God, which is two-way. Now it's a circle. It's circular. And the Course in Miracles says, when you experience your love for God and God's love for you, well, you will be experiencing heaven. Just like in those times when you've experienced human love, where you felt yourself loving them completely and you also felt them loving you completely at the same time, what did you say about those moments? This is heaven. This is heaven. A love that's fully given and fully received. It's heaven. This is heaven. Right? That's exactly the same. The same is true about our relationship with our Source. It is the experience of heaven is experiencing a love that you are fully given. I fully love you. And I fully feel your love for me. That's heaven. And so I love it how we're being given a prayer by which to ask for help in keeping mindful of God's love for us. You know, like you said, we forgot that. We need, I love it. You can ask for help in remembering that. Oh, good. Because that's the kind of help I need. Ask for help. Ask for God Himself to keep you mindful of how much God loves you. God, will you please keep me mindful of how much you love me? Because I forget. And will you also keep me mindful of how much I love you? Because I have definitely forgotten that. Now he says, now when you make that request, that can never go unanswered. Ever. Ever. You can never make that request and not be answered. Ever. Never. Why? Because that is all God wants for you. And that's already what God's given you. He's already given you a universe of reminders of how much God loves you and how much you love God. He's already made the entire universe that God created a reminder of how much God loves you and how much you love God. So when you pray that prayer and you make that request, it's as good as done. It can never go unanswered. Never, never, never. Because it's already done. That's what the whole universe is. More and more I'm beginning to experience the universe like that. One reminder after another of how much God loves His creation and how much we love Him. It's like I'm experiencing the universe like that more and more and more. And literally, I could honestly say I'm experiencing holy instances of heaven more and more and more frequently. I'm just trying to string a few together, you know what I'm saying? I'm having more and more holy instances frequently. I'm just trying to string them together, you know, maybe like a half an hour. So, at least they're happening more frequently. All right. Sometimes I do have a half an hour. All right. And that's what keeps me coming back to the Course. Every time I experience one of those moments, I'm like, okay, I did what it said, totally half-hearted, and wow, okay, that was an experience that I'll never recover from, that I never want to forget again. How can I have that again? Okay, I'm going to do it again. That's the miracle of the Course in Miracles. In other words, he says, in other words, those who call truly are always answered. In other words, those, thou shalt not have other gods before God. Not because God is jealous, just because there are none. That whole, thou shalt not have other gods before God, it's not because God is jealous. It's not because God is insecure. My Creator, He's an insecure Creator. Of course. Of course I would have an insecure Creator. Of course. I have Woody Allen's Creator. It's because there are no other gods before God. There is no other source of love. There is no other source of joy. There is no other source of life. There is none. Stop trying. Stop trying to seek outside yourself. Stop trying to seek for some other love, for some other joy, for some other peace, besides the peace of God, besides the joy and the love that comes from God. There is no other joy and peace and love besides what comes from God. Why? Because God's the originator of it. That's why. That's why there's no love but God's. Because God is where love came from. It doesn't come from bodies. It doesn't come from money. It doesn't come from physical release. Love doesn't come from anything physical. It only comes from God, because God is the originator of it. That's why he says, don't have any other loves before God, because there are none. Wow.
So it's an inner willingness to experience it, is what you're saying.
That's exactly right. An inner willingness to experience it, right? And experience it from its originator, from its source, right? Which takes us back to the beginning of the class, where it says, love will enter into any mind that wants it, but it must want it truly. In other words, when I want love from where love really comes from, for what love really is, then it will be there immediately, because God's already given it. That's already what everything is. But when I'm wanting love to get something, to make me lovable, then I will never experience it. And if I'm trying to get love and experience love from anything besides where love comes from, I will never experience it. I may have a pleasant form of fear for a little while, but it will always end in pain and a big fat grievance and some lawyers.
So those heavenly moments you described earlier, that was two people simultaneously were willing to have it.
That's exactly
And
right.
So there it was.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
So you can do it with or without another person.
That's right.
But you can't do it without God or Spirit.
Thank you. You can do it with or without another person, but you can't do it without God. God being the source of love, the source of life, the source of us. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right. Now, this I love this next sentence. It's fascinating. It says, and if anybody has the edited version, it'll be fun to hear what it says in there. It says, it has never really entered your mind to give up every idea, and I mean every idea that you ever had that opposes knowledge. What does that mean? That means you retain thousands of little scraps of meanness. Isn't that great? Meanness. Thousands of little scraps of meanness that do what? That prevent the Holy One, the loving one, from entering. Wow, you're right, author of the chorus. It has never entered my mind to give up every scrap of meanness in my mind. And it's certainly never entered my mind to give up the thousands of little scraps of meanness that I retain. You're right. It never occurred to me. That's a true statement. I never thought.
All those meannesses are just our defenses, right?
That's exactly right.
It just means my fears.
My fears, my judgments, my grievances. You're right. It has never, I didn't wake up this morning and go, you know, gee, I wonder what it would be like if I gave up the thousands of scraps of meanness that I retain in my mind. I think I'll do that today. Yeah, that sounds like fun. That was not on my to-do list this morning. How about you? My to-do list was more like, go to the mailbox, get your car checked, don't forget this, here's your grocery list.
It's kind of a good way, a forgiving way to look at our hate. As you said, though, I see that, yeah, you probably can't really hate anybody, but you can be afraid of them enough that you wish they'd disappear, just go away.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And that's all you're doing when you're hating them. You just want them to go
right.
away.
Exactly. You just want it to go
destroy
away.
them too.
That's right.
And it just, you want to get rid of that terror in you.
That's right. Right after you eviscerate them with your judgment.
Yes.
I mean opinions. I mean observations.
Yeah.
You know, whatever those euphemisms are for judgment. I wasn't judging you. I was just observing.
Smile before you get out of bed and you'll feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very good. And interesting that the things that are preventing the love of God, which is the love of the universe, which is the immeasurable gifts stored up for you, the thing that's preventing all that from entering your awareness and filling your life is the thousands of scraps of meanness that you retain in your mind that we don't even consider giving up. Give up judgment? Are you kidding me? Please. That's what makes me seem intelligent. Okay.
Would judgment be a projected fear then?
Absolutely, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. Now, isn't it cool to think of judgments and grievances as little scraps of meanness? I love that. You know, we've all got kind of used to or desensitized to the term judgment or grievances. Oh yeah, you know, stop judging. Yeah, I've got judgments. Yeah, my grievances are high in the light of the world. Yes, okay, I got to forgive my grievances. Right. Interesting to think of those judgments and grievances as little scraps of meanness. How are you doing today? Man, I'm just gnawing on a few scraps of meanness. Few scraps of meanness, like little bone fragments that we're gnawing on. And then love shows up and goes, hi, I love you. I have immeasurable gifts for you. We go, screw you. I'm busy. And love goes, okay, all right. I will wait. I will wait.
My scraps of meanness are my little beliefs that I haven't given up for correction.
Thank you. My little scraps of meanness are my beliefs and thoughts that I haven't been honest about and opened up for correction. That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah, I love that. It's so funny.
That could take a lifetime, thousands of them.
Oh yeah. And that, but that's why he says the holy instant is our greatest miracle tool, our greatest device for shortening time, the holy instant. Because you can do that in a holy instant. For one moment, you can relinquish all your little scraps, your thousands of little scraps of meanness that you've been retaining. In an instant, you can let them all go. And be completely released from the time and the karma that they hold in form. So the holy instant, what does he say? He says it is your most powerful device for controlling time. Do you remember that? Now I really get what it's saying.
It's one of the first miracles.
Yes, that's right. It's a device. It's the most powerful device you have for controlling time. Isn't that fascinating? Because in one moment, the holy instant, you can release all the scraps of meanness, remembering the truth in that moment, and be released from time. What is time? Time is the karmic effects of those scraps of meanness, those judgments. Okay, so what is time? It's the accumulation of the judgments. And so when you have no more judgment, you have no more time. Time saves you time. Miracles are time-saving devices. A holy instant, a miracle, a correct perception is a time-saving device. And who in here would like to save some time? I would like to save some time. Nice. And I would like to use time better. I would like to use it more efficiently.
For future reference, that's Miracle 51 in the original edition.
Thank you. Miracle 51, Miracle Principle 51 in the original edition. Thank you. Okay. All right, so we're just going to finish this paragraph and then we will stop for the evening. All right. Now, light, which is truth, which is the love you say you want. What'd you say?
I'm just laughing at watch your minds for scraps of meanness.
Yes.
It's like, I love that.
And to watch your mind.
He talks to us.
I know, it's hilarious. I love the mind that wrote this. It is the ultimate genius and it's hysterical. It's hilarious.
I'm like, nobody touched me like that.
I know, exactly. That's right. That's right. Because we won't let it. Don't bother me. I'm gnawing on a scrap of meanness. There's a little bit of juice left. There's a little bit of grievous juice left.
Is that the ego, the scavenger dog that's looking for all the little
exactly
scraps?
right. The scavenger dogs of hate. That's what the Course calls them. The dogs of hate. They're scavengers that we send out to scavenge every little scrap of guilt that we can find. And we drag it to us screaming. It is screaming as we drag it back to our ego layer to gnaw on it. Right. All the while love is looking on like, are you ready yet? Are you, how about now? Are you ready yet? How about now? You know, and love never goes like this. Jesus, do you know this is the third time I've been here today? I swear, how long are you going to gnaw on that scrap of meanness? Please. Is it making you happy? But love isn't like me. I would do that to somebody. Yeah, so love is more loving than I am. You know, I might be the one standing there, the counselor that I am, going, have you known it enough? You know?
It's like when the dog keeps gnawing on the bone and there's like nothing
There's
left
nothing
of it.
there. Exactly.
I mean, just keep...
Exactly. The love is still standing there like, are you ready yet? How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Love never goes, you know I've been here. Do you know how long I've been here? How's it working out for you gnawing on that little scrap of meanness? You know, love is patient. Love is infinite patience. That's what love is. Thank God. Thank God for that. Love, please keep me mindful of that kind of love that's always standing there every moment asking me, how about now? Please keep me mindful of the love that's there asking that. Now, then it says, light cannot penetrate through your defenses that you make to block the light. And that's because love is forever unwilling to destroy what you have made, even if it's making you unhappy. Love will never burst through the walls or the defenses you make. Never, it never will. No matter how long you had them. No matter how stupid they are. He says, because love is forever unwilling to destroy what you've made, even if it's an illusion, even if it's hurting you. No one can see through a wall, but the voice of the Course says, I can step around a wall. So I'm not going to bust through your wall, because love doesn't bust through anybody's walls. But love says, but I can't step around your wall. Nice. So, here's another instruction that our loving right mind teacher is giving us. Here's an instruction. I want you to watch your minds. Watch my mind for what? The scraps of meanness. All the scraps of meanness. All those little scraps of meanness. Why do you want us to do that, teacher? Because if you don't watch your mind for the scraps of meanness, then you won't be able to help me to help you to watch your mind. I won't be able, I'll just say it. Watch your mind for the scraps of meanness, or you will be unable to ask me to do so. Okay? So if I'm not watching my mind, I can't, my teacher can't help me watch my mind. You know, I need my teacher to look at my beliefs. I need my teacher to go, that's an interesting belief. Thank you for sharing that. Would you like a correction? I need my teacher to look at my beliefs, right? And if I'm hiding them, my teacher can't do it. If I put up a wall between my awareness and my beliefs, my teacher can't look at them, right? That's the wall that I put up. And so our teacher is saying, if you aren't going to look at what's behind your own wall, which is your defenses, which is your desire to hide, your decision to hide, if you're not going to look at what is behind your desire to hide, then I can't help you look at what you're trying to hide. And so, watch your mind for the scraps of meanness. It's a great meditation exercise. Observe your mind. Observe the scraps of meanness. You won't have to observe for long. You won't have to, don't worry, that does not require hours of concentration. It'll be about 3 seconds in. I am now going to quiet my mind so that I can observe my thoughts. Whoa, okay, there's a grievance. Whoa, there's a mean thought. It won't take long.
So once again, he's warning us there. We need to be aware of it. Give it to him to correct it.
That's exactly right.
Your job stops right there.
That
always,
is it.
We just kick him out and say, oh, I can fix this.
Exactly. It is not our job to fix it. It is only our job to reveal it, to observe it, to witness it, and to allow our loving right mind to look at it with us. That's it. The loving right mind does the rest. I don't have to fix it. Thank God. I don't have to fix all my scraps of meanness. I have all these scraps of meanness. How do I get rid of these scraps of meanness? That is not your job. If you could get rid of your scraps of meanness, you wouldn't have any. So all your job is to observe your mind, watch your mind for the scraps of meanness, so that your teacher can look upon them with you. That's your only job.
You just say, here you go.
Here you go. Here it is. You wanted to see all the sordid meanness that I've got going on in there? Here it is. Take a look. Our teacher says, thank you. Thank you. Don't worry. You can't be thinking anything that can shock me. Don't be ashamed. There's nothing that you've thought, no matter how mean it is, that is going to offend or shock your teacher. Your teacher will remain unmoved, unlike your family and friends. You what? You thought, oh my God, you need help. All right. That's why I always say, observe those little scraps of meanness and share them. Don't hide them first from yourself and then from your teacher. Don't share them with other people until you've shared them with yourself and then your teacher. Don't do that. And I'm sure you all know why. I don't have to go into that. And last sentence, our teacher says, I can help you only as our Father created us. Like what? Here's how our teacher can help us. Our teacher says to us, I will love you, and I will honor you, and I will maintain complete respect for what you have made, but I will neither honor it nor love it unless it's true. That's what our teacher wants us to know as we are revealing that which we've been hiding behind that wall, right? Our teacher says, look, I will love you, I will honor you, I will maintain complete respect for what you've made. In other words, I'm not going to attack what you've made. I'm not going to attack your ego. I'm not going to attack your defenses. I'm not going to attack your meanness. I'm not going to go, ooh, that's mean. I will maintain complete respect for what you've made. And I will love you and I will honor you. But if it's not true, meaning if it's not loving, I'm not going to honor it. That's all. So our teacher doesn't attack our defenses. Our teacher doesn't attack our ego. Our teacher just doesn't honor it if it's not loving. That's it.
So that's our safety guarantee, so that we won't be afraid to give all thoughts or beliefs up.
Thank you for saying that.
It's true, you get to keep it. If it's not, I'll give you a better one.
That's right. That's exactly right. Thank you for saying that. That it's the perfect thing our teacher needed to say to make sure that we weren't afraid to show it, to reveal it, to get honest. Because we are afraid of that. Because we're assuming that our teacher and our guides and God is just like us.
And going to judge us.
Judge us. We're assuming that God and our right mind and our higher mind is going to do just what we would do and judge us and go, ew, I can't believe you believe that. Ew. You know, he wants us to know, don't be afraid to let me see what you're hiding behind that wall. Listen, I will not attack it at all. If it's not true, I'm just not going to honor it. That's all. I'm just not going to, like you said, Jim, I'm just going to look at it and I will give you a better one if you want it.
Because if it's not true, it's delusion.
That's right.
And it really has no power.
That's right.
And that's part of its correction.
That's exactly right. It's exactly right.
You didn't need to be afraid of that.
Didn't need to hide it.
It was the shadow in your closet, not a ghost.
I mean, truly, when we let go of the things we're hiding from ourselves and others and God, there will never be something that we reveal that once we reveal it, we won't go, oh, that wasn't even true. You only hide illusions. You never hide the truth. You only hide illusions. So whatever it is, you're like, oh, I don't want to tell people that. Oh, I don't want people to know that about me. Oh, I don't even want to know that about me. Oh, I don't want to, whatever it is, if you're hiding it, it ain't true. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. If you're hiding it, it ain't true. Because the truth in you needs no hiding. It needs no cover. All right. Shall we stop here for tonight? That's plenty, eh? All right.
It's a nice way to look at our scraps of meanness. Just a bunch of bull we told ourselves.
That's right. That's
Never
right,
was
exactly. That's right. And one other thing you need to be prepared for when you reveal and look at your scraps of meanness. You have to be prepared for laughter. If you cannot handle some laughter, then you may not be ready. If you aren't ready for Holy Spirit to go, "Aw, aw," then, so just that's what you need to be ready for. And some of us are not ready to have our egos, our little scraps of meanness laughed at, are we? Some of us are not ready for that. My scraps of meanness are serious. My scraps of meanness are real. They're serious. This person hurt me. Look what they did to me. That is not fun. All right. So, now we're going to thank you for your expressions, your financial expressions of appreciation. And thank you guys for your financial expressions of appreciation. Thank you for watching. All right. You guys don't realize you are experiencing this class with thousands of others. I know there only seems like a few in this room, but there's literally thousands of others watching with you. Isn't that amazing? That amazing thought? All right. So just know that all my classes are available on YouTube. All my meditations are now on YouTube. My course readings are on YouTube. And if you would like to learn more about my holistic counseling practice called Miracle Psychotherapeutics, you can go to my website at annakujawa.com and learn more about that. All right. So now we're going to do our integration meditation. And the integration meditation is where we become quiet and use some of the ideas that we heard tonight. That's why the name of this album is The Lightness of Being. I like that. All right. So let's just begin by becoming present and quiet. And take a breath. Use your breath to quiet your mind. Use your breath to focus your mind in the right now. And use your breath to calm your mind and calm your body. And just tune in to how you feel right now. And take a breath. Beautiful. Now I want you to bring to your awareness a situation or relationship that you're experiencing today or in the recent past that has felt dark or heavy and definitely not peaceful and frightening. I want you to bring that to your awareness. And I want you to look upon this situation or relationship in your mind's eye. And I want you to just notice the emotions that you've experienced with it. Beautiful. Now I want you to turn your awareness inward within your own self. And I want you to ask yourself, what beliefs have I been trying to hide from myself? What beliefs or feelings have I been trying to hide from myself in this situation? What have I not been wanting to look at within my own self, within this situation, that I have been trying to project out or not see? What is this situation or relationship mirroring to me that I have not been wanting to look at? What beliefs? What feelings? And now, I want you, another way of saying this is I want you to look for the scraps of meanness that you have been retaining in your thinking about this situation or relationship. Whether those scraps of meanness were for yourself or for another. Take a breath. And now, I want you to imagine these scraps of meanness, these false beliefs about you, these mean beliefs about yourself and others. And I want you to imagine them as bricks in a wall in front of you. And each brick in the wall in front of you, you see written one of those scraps of meanness, one of those mean thoughts, one of those false beliefs about yourself or others. And now, in your mind's eye, I want you to ask love to enter your mind. I want you to ask love to step around this wall and enter your mind. And ask it to enter your mind because you are love. And because God created you worthy of love. And for that reason only. Ask for love and light and truth to enter your mind. And then I want you in your mind's eye to look once again upon that wall in front of you. And I want you to see what happens to it. And breathe. Beautiful. And then just for a few moments more, I want you to enjoy the experience of love having entered your mind, and lighting it, and healing your body. For just a few moments, experience a mind that is not darkened by the desire to hide. The mind that walks open in the sunlight. just a few moments, experience your mind as hiding and retaining nothing for itself. For a moment, experience a mind open, not hiding, a mind bathed in the sunlight of the love of God and the light of truth. See if you can imagine the light of God, the light of love, flooding your mind like a floodlight, lighting up any and every dark corner that you are maintaining as a hospital for sick thoughts, mean thoughts, where there's no darkened corners in your mind anymore. They've all been lit. And we ask love to enter our mind and search out any remaining scraps of meanness that we've been hiding. Love, search them out. And fill that space with light. Beautiful. Just breathe that feeling in for a moment. Breathe that feeling in, letting it anchor, letting it wire in your neurons, letting it anchor in your body. The feeling, the experience of openness, one willing to hide nothing, an experience so different that you will never, ever want to cover it again. And then when you're ready, just begin to bring your awareness back to the room and back to your body, yawning and stretching, feeling your body in the chair and your feet on the floor. Yawn and stretch. Whew! Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, I could have done that all night. I had to force myself to come back. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you guys out there for watching. All right, you guys. Good practicing. May the Course be with you.